Aloha everyone, welcome back to the negotiation table. My name is Wincy Hong, your host and communications specialist here at HGEA. And with us today for the first time, we have Maui County Mayor Richard Bissen. Welcome to the podcast, Mayor.
Aloha, Wency. Thank you for having me. I'm excited to get a chance to share some thoughts with you.
Thank you for joining us and flying in this morning. Before we dive into this month's interview, don't forget to hit the like and subscribe button so you never miss an episode. All right, let's dive in.
Sure.
HGA and Mayor Bissen have had a positive collaborative relationship since he took office in 2022. His administration has shown a willingness to resolve grievances quickly, reprice engineers, and even ease the cost of health insurance with a new free 75-25 medical plan. To break down all the ways the Bissen administration has been working on behalf of Maui is the mayor himself. So here's my first question. One of the early examples of your open door policy was how you handled the payout of temporary hazard pay, which the previous mayor halted on his way out of office. Your administration decided to ditch the formal grievance process and get those payments done. Why was it important to hear the concerns from the union about this issue and make sure those employees got paid?
Well, thanks, Wency. So what we wanted was a new, broader approach to working collaboratively with our members, and we wanted to make sure we could build trust with them, and that they understood we were there to be a support as well. And then on top of that, we understand that they put their own risk at health, the risk of their families, or the health of their families, also putting that at risk. And so we thought they obviously should be compensated for what they've done to help our community during those times of need. Another thing I guess I'd share is you can tell people you care about them, or you can show them you care about them. And that was our way of letting them know that we were partners with them, that we wanted the same thing, which is to do well for our community, but the way to do that is to keep our own staff healthy and show them the support.
Absolutely. And one of the first major challenges your administration faced were the wildfires in Lahaina, the worst natural disaster to hit the Maui community in a generation. This was an impossible circumstance despite whoever was mayor. Your administration had led the charge in reducing wildfire risk and expediting permits for rebuilding with nearly 300 homes under construction. Can you talk about some of the strides made in Maui's recovery?
Sure. So in West Maui, we have about 400 affordable multifamily units. That includes Kaiaulu o Kupuohi or Kuku'ia, which is about 200 units, just that again alone. Kupuohi has 89 units. They're across the way from each other, across the street. We also have 10 affordable housing units that are also moving forward now. And that's in West Maui. 7 of them are rebuilt. And when we complete those, that should be about 1,211 available rental units for affordable housing. We received our Community Development Block Grant Disaster Relief Funds. That was in June of 2025. And that's $1.6 billion that we have to use for housing, for infrastructure, for some of the unmet needs that have happened and occurred out in West Maui. We did the debris operation. So 100% of the commercial and the residential lots have all been cleared. But by doing that, you set up a temporary debris site, which is in the town of Olowalu, which is nearby Lahaina, about 5 miles outside of Lahaina. And what we just completed late last year was moving that temporary debris site to a permanent debris site in Central Maui at the Central Maui landfill. And by doing that, we kept our promise to the Olowalu neighborhood that we were not going to leave it there permanently. So the debris, which is about 400,000 tons of debris, was moved twice, and it was put into the permanent landfill. One of the benefits of that, by the way, I should say, is we have additional 10 years of airspace for municipal household waste. That is also a benefit, obviously, to our entire community. Across Lahaina, we have, you mentioned, 305 homes approximately that are under construction, but we've already completed 163. There's another 500 and I want to say 563 permits that have already been approved, and another 365 that are pending being approved. And so by doing that, we are moving people back into their homes. Most of these are owner-occupied homes. We also have what we call the Ho'okumuho program, which is assisting first-time home buyers or people who were renters, because over 80% of Lahaina were renters. And so we have folks that we are offering up to $600,000 to purchase their first home. There are some restrictions. There are some average medium income, area median income restrictions as well. These are all HUD funds, so we have to stay within a certain range. So that's happening. We're building up to 250 rebuilds for people who lost their homes. That's also part. So we have, just for this program, Ho'okumuho, there's about $580 million that's put aside for that. And of the 1.6, 900 million of that is going into rebuilding housing in Lahaina. And there's another 500 million that's going to go into infrastructure, including putting in or extending the Lahaina bypass. And that's going to improve access in and out of Lahaina for evacuations. It's going to allow access to new areas to build homes. And again, another thoroughfare allowing folks to alleviate the traffic on Honoapi'ilani Highway. So there are lots of benefits to that. All of that's coming from this funding. That $100 million is the county giving that money to the state to build that highway. That's a state highway. But it's going to help our people in Lahaina. So lots of exciting things happening out there. We expect to spend about $1.2 billion over the next 5 years just on infrastructure. And that can be roads, wastewater, water, sewer, which is wastewater, power, roads, sidewalks. So there'll be lots of things, lots of work happening in Lahaina.
That's amazing. Affordability is a huge topic across the country, and Maui is no exception. Much of this is driven by skyrocketing housing costs and the lack of supply in the housing market. You signed Bill 9, which prioritizes homes for residents over vacation rentals, which makes up almost a fourth of the housing market on Maui. There is some misinformation that this bill eliminates tourism or short-term rentals. So can you talk about why this was an important piece of legislation for your housing strategy?
Sure. Yeah, this is long overdue, and it's really designed in a nutshell to restore balance to our community. 21% of the housing available on Maui is short-term rentals. Bill 9 addresses a very small portion of that. In fact, if you look at the list of homes, the Minatoia list was about 7,000. There's an additional 13 or 14,000 units still available. But of that 7,000, about 1,000 of them were being used correctly or properly zoned. So we're talking about 6,000 possible units. From that amount, somewhere between 1,200 and 2,000 are impacted by this bill, because there are companion bills that are designed to create hotel districts that will allow some of those to operate legally. So this is a zoning issue. They're not properly zoned for what they're being used for, and they're supposed to be housing. And so we are taking this step to bring back about, like I said, between 1,200 and 2,000, depending on what the county council decides on. That's the range we're looking at to convert. So there'll be thousands of units that are still available. So that's, first of all, misinformation that's being spread out there. There are lots of places that tourists will be able to stay. And when I say balance, we want our visitors to have a great experience when they come. We really do. We also want our residents to have a good experience. I've not met someone who wants to have a short-term rental next door to their home. I've not met any. Because people understand the high traffic, the constant turnover, the noise, it just impacts people who are just trying to live in their neighborhoods and their communities. And so this was important on many levels. People want to talk about the economic impact that it'll have. There'll be an economic impact. We'll make up for that economic impact. We've already discussed that. We, in our presentations to the planning commissions, to the county council, we brought in our attorneys, our finance folks to talk about these impacts. These are the folks who are the subject matter experts. This is what they deal with. The bill was designed to withstand legal challenge. People are saying they're going to get sued. Yes, that may very well happen. Oh, there's economic impact. Yes. But the real question is, what is the impact to the community? What is the impact to our citizens and our residents? Because that's the part that's not factored into any of these economic models. Because you can't put a price on somebody who leaves your state. Because when a family leaves, you're talking about generational. Because if that family doesn't reestablish back here, neither will their children or their children's children. Because once you get out of the market, it's very hard to get back in. So our goal, and it has been from the beginning of my administration, is to keep our people home. Very simple. How can we do that? Maui had a record of building homes, about 100 homes a year. Since I've been in 2023, that average now is 293 homes a year. That's a 190% increase. Mm-hmm. We expect that number to exceed over 400 homes over the next 5 years per year. Mm-hmm. But think about how you can replace 1,200 units, how long that would take. These places, they are already built. They have water, they have sewer, they have parking. They're already built. We're not having to rebuild something or build something from scratch. So you can't get this many units in this quick of a time. And we're also talking about from the time this is finalized, it'll be 3 years for West Maui units to be converted and 5 years for South Maui units to be converted. So there is time that's built in. And again, we've seen the legal challenges from around the country and around the world. And so we've put the bill in a way that will withstand those challenges. In most places, 2 years has been the cutoff. Anything less than 2 years, allowing people less than 2 years, has been challenged. Anything over that amount has been approved by the courts as being lawful. So there's a lot to talk about, but I think restoring balance is the key message to this topic.
Keeping with the affordability issue for a moment, it is no secret to our members that medical insurance costs are through the roof. We mentioned in the opening that your administration approached the union with a proposal for free 75-25 medical insurance. This proposal came as a personal conversation between members of your administration and us. Why do this? Why was this an important focus for you?
Yeah, affordability remains one of the most important issues in our county as it is across the state, and I would guess across the entire country. We wanted to implement policies that would help us with retention and possibly even recruitment. But certainly to address the affordability, we had to make living on Maui more affordable. Now, the plan that we selected was one that Kauai had done. So to be fair to Mayor Kawakami, he had done that over at his county, and we thought about it and said, well, let's try it. And it wasn't in a negotiation. It wasn't I'll give you this if you give me that. It was just us calling, the various folks that represent our employees on Maui, and saying, hey, listen, we're gonna put this in our budget. And of course, no one was objected to that. And if you don't need the medical plan, I wanted to add something, you get a $200 a month stipend. So let's say your spouse has medical from their work and you don't need the county's, then you'll get $200 stipend, and that's how it's worked. We think it's fair. We think it's right. And it wasn't a negotiated point. It was saying we're going to do this, and we hope it works for you folks. And of course, the union was very agreeable to that. So I'm glad we did it. It was to address the issue of affordability. It was to let our workers know they're valued. You know, lots of people work at their jobs because of health insurance. Lots of people, especially people with families and young children. And so we recognize that. We've all been through this. All of us, no matter how long you've worked in government, you understand that that's a key piece. So hope people have a little relief and want to continue working for the county.
Definitely. Members of our union know that labor is really only as strong as the people who link arms together. Unfortunately, your predecessors often put up roadblocks by not letting us conduct new employee orientations and inform employees of their rights. This changed with your administration. The county is again complying with allowing the union to conduct face-to-face group NEOs. Can you talk about this gesture of collaboration toward our union and how it fits in with resolving disputes quickly as well as fairly?
Sure. I do want to say I did not know that coming into my position. I didn't know what the previous policies were. So it wasn't a reaction to doing something the same or different. It was just when this came up, it felt like the right thing to do. You know, deep down, I feel like we all want the same things. We all want the same things, right? It's to serve our residents and to be fair to our folks. Because really, when you think about the county, I think people see administrations, they see directors, they see mayors, but really the county are our workers. The 2,700 people that work for us in Maui County who come to work every day, who do a good job and just want to be treated fairly. For many of them, these are their careers. They'll put in 25 or 30. Some people stay around 45 years working for, the government. And so I think for us, it's pretty simple. If you want that quality of care for your community, then you gotta be fair with your workers. And I know that sounds cheesy. Sounded that way when I just said it, but that's the truth of the matter, is we want to take care of our workers, who are the people that take care of our residents. And ultimately, that's the function of government, is to protect your community, keep them safe, and help them thrive. And so it's felt, and it still feels like the right way to work collaboratively. As you mentioned, that word is a good word, because that's really what we're trying to do. We're trying to make sure we keep our collaboration, our communication, and build the trust. We need to build trust with our workers, and they have to know that they're being treated fairly.
Mayor Bisson, we know you are a busy man, so we very much appreciate you taking time to sit down with us here at the negotiation table. Do you have any last thoughts before you go?
Yeah, I just want to say that we feel that our greatest asset are our people. No question about it. Our workers and our residents. And our job is to protect and take care of our greatest assets. And I'll end with what I started with. You can tell people you care about them, or you can show them.
Absolutely. So, mahalo, Mayor. I think we can all see why we have your back, and it is because you have ours. So thank you.
That's very nice of you. Thank you very much, Nancy.
Join the conversation in the comments, everyone. Let us know about the issues on Maui that are important to you. What is most on your mind as we enter an election year? For more content like this, don't forget to like and subscribe. Until next time.